Hello, everybody. This is Just a Little Guy, a podcast where I ask content creators to concoct creepy critters, malodorous monsters, baneful beasts, and whatever disturbing design comes to mind. My name is Ron, and before we get started today, I just wanted to express my gratitude to all of our patrons whose support continues to make this show possible, especially those who contribute at the incomprehensible cosmic abomination level. Special thanks go out to Taru Tikkanen, D. Solari, Lunchbox, and Jared S. Thank you for all the support, and if you'd like to help fund the collective creativity, feel free to mosey on down to patreon.com/justalittleguy. The link is in the description. Today, we are being joined by a video essayist, a big surprise, I know, and big horror aficionado, fellow member of the What's Left of Us live play series. Welcome to the show, Mildred. Mildred, how are you today?
I am well. How are you?
I am also well. Thank you again for taking some time to be on the show. I'm a big fan of yours, obviously, and I think that we have a lot in common in terms of like monsters and things like that.
I do enjoy monsters.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what was your earliest experience with horror, if you remember far back?
I mean, I've always kind of gravitated to horror. Like anytime there was for example, like a spooky level in a video game, when I was a kid, that was always my favorite. Or like any cartoon that had like a monster mash, or even I'll accept a graveyard smash as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no,
I love it.
But I guess okay, so this is a very personal touchstone for me. Do you remember Cracked Magazine, the rip-off version of Mad Magazine?
I absolutely do. I forgot it existed until you just brought it up, but I definitely remember it.
So I as a kid, as a young tasteless fool, for some reason had it in my head that like Cracked was the superior magazine, and I would buy every issue of Cracked Magazine.
Oh yeah.
And once a year they would put out their issue of Monster Party, which was like their Halloween issue. And I remember those I would look forward to every year and read them like cover to cover like 20 times each time one came out. That's probably like the earliest like I remember really being like a horror hound.
Very nice. No, I didn't know that they used to do that, honestly, or still do that. I don't know if they still even have Cracked in circulation anymore. I used to read the website more
Cracked
or less.
Magazine became Cracked.com. It's the same company.
Of course. Yeah. And that, spawned a million anarchist podcasts, so.
Yeah. I didn't stand a chance.
No, I know. Yeah, that was, that's really interesting. For some reason, I would have thought it would have been like a movie or something like that, but Cracked makes a lot of sense when you.
Well, as a kid, I was very easily frightened, which I think a lot of horror fans can relate to. Like it's,
Oh yeah.
But I nonetheless, I was always begging to be allowed to watch horror movies, but never given that opportunity. I remember like on my hands and knees begging my mom to let me watch Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh boy, the one with Gary Oldman, was it?
Yeah, I would have been like 8, so it would have been wildly inappropriate. A lot of werewolf sex in that movie.
What's a little bit?
But she didn't know that.
Did she need to? Is the question.
Yeah.
Probably, actually. But
Well, she didn't let me watch it, so.
Oh, okay. Did your parents usually like pre-watch movies like before you could
No, but
watch them yourself? Or
they weren't fools. They knew that if like a horror movie was rated R, it was going to cause problems for them.
That's fair. Yeah, probably don't want your kid to go to school and talk about the weird dance that the werewolves were doing, in the movie.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something like specifically Canadian because, obviously you're in Canada in case anybody wasn't aware, but, and what's more Canadian than poutine, or pouton, as Jay will sometimes say. And so I was like, what's the weirdest kind of thing I could do with that and still make it kind of like gross and ghouly and, so the name that I came up with, or the Monster Matic 5000 came up with, is the Markham Curd Snatcher. So
okay.
What do you think of that?
So when we say snatching, right, this can mean a few things. So What springs to mind is a sort of little goblin fellow that appears, grabs the curds from your poutine, and I don't know, maybe puts them in his pocket
Yeah,
and then skitters away.
yeah, of course. It's a very simple idea, really.
Yeah, I would think very long arms in order to reach poutine from any angle of approach.
Oh yeah, no, I would think so too. I mean, you want to be able to get that from underneath a table, even if it's not the table that's right above you. You know.
Yes, I think we're in sync on that.
Yeah.
Let me ask you your view on whether or not this creature is wearing jean shorts.
I hadn't thought about it previously. I pictured him with sandals, but
Well,
the
that's
jean
not
shorts.
mutually exclusive. I think we could have
Yeah,
both.
both. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. For some reason, I immediately went to sandals, but yeah, jean
I
shorts
will
and sandals.
insist, though, that if he is wearing jean shorts and sandals, he must also logically, therefore, be wearing socks.
Of course.
The combo
Yeah, he's got to
is,
be a shoebie, as they
necessitates
used to
that
call
addition,
him.
I think.
I agree. Hawaiian shirt or no?
Ooh.
Because I'm
that
thinking
is
of
interesting.
because now I'm just picturing him as a tourist. So like I'm thinking sun hat, sunglasses, in
Well,
Canada. So it's
no Canadian tourist is wearing a Hawaiian shirt. I can tell you that. Our climate is not known for its balmy heat.
really
There are.
that's news to me.
I was going to say there are warm places in Canada, but no, there's exactly one warm place in Canada, and it's
Oh.
Vancouver. Beyond
I
that,
guess that
it is
makes sense.
it's a frigid wasteland.
Of course, of course. I've only ever been to Toronto, and I know that that's about as mild as you can get. So,
Not at the moment. At the moment, it's pretty hot, but
oh,
typically,
I believe
yes, yeah.
All right, so he's not going to be wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Well, I
but he's
didn't
got
say
jean
no.
shorts. And...
I didn't say no.
okay.
To be clear, I'm not. Listen, we're yes-anding, right? This is the nature of improv. I'm
Oh,
not saying no.
yeah.
I'm just saying that, like, if we're going for the tourist angle, we might want to rethink that.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
Now,
fair enough.
here's what I would say: you throw a Hawaiian shirt over a white T-shirt that says, like, I Maple Leaf Canada, like
Oh,
the
yeah,
definitive Canadian tourist item. I think
Of
that
course.
would, yeah.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. So he's wearing a Canadian tourist shirt with a Hawaiian shirt over it. Do we think the Hawaiian shirt has like Toronto Blue Jays like logos all over it? Just because.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would think, like, because we're veering, I think, dangerously far from the poutine
That's
angle.
true.
I was thinking it would have some sort of French fry or cheese curd element on it. Could
yeah.
it be like a Hawaiian shirt with both, with like a poutine background with Toronto Blue Jays logos, in an interesting pattern?
Yeah, I'm thinking, I think that the food items make a lot more sense than the Toronto Blue Jays thing.
Okay.
I think I just thought of the Blue Jays because I was like, the only time I ever went was
You
to
did say
like,
Maple
see a
Leafs,
baseball
but-
game. Yeah, true. That is very Canadian, so that would probably be.
No, I mean, you did say the Toronto Maple Leafs, not the Toronto Blue Jays, didn't you?
Oh, I thought I said Blue Jays.
Well, let's rewind the tape, and maybe I'll look like quite the fool.
No, I believe you. I probably did say something to that effect. I just go to sports teams right away. The so no Toronto Argonauts logos there. I think is what we settled on.
I would also say that I don't think that we should be going with Toronto imagery because
Yeah, because
poutine
Markham
is
its
a
own.
Quebecois dish. So I think
Oh,
the Habs, maybe, like he could be wearing a Habs.
sure.
Jersey or
Yeah, he's got
something,
like yeah. I could see that too. Oh, or like he's got a little beanie cap on that has
Yeah,
the Habs logo.
yeah.
Yeah. Just
Well,
really.
if he's got a beanie cap on, he is like smoking darts for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of imagine that was already the situation.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the curd snatcher, so
The curd snatcher.
Yeah.
Little mustache, not like a well maintained. I'm thinking like a little dirty, like he hasn't shaved his upper lip, and that's really the only place.
Like it's kind of wispy, but
I do get a
Yeah,
strong
yeah.
preteen vibe from the curd snatcher.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean,
I don't. Because like we've
They love
talked about
cheese.
a lot of like clothing options that I feel are very dad-like.
Yeah.
But I think like to get into like the monstrous element, like he is both dad and preteen. It's a contradiction, and that fuels a lot of great horror.
Oh, I agree, because it's simultaneously young and old, you know, in theory anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. I kind of like this idea. What else can we do with him? So he's got long arms. He looks like a little goblin.
Well, let me ask you this.
He's got a wispy mustache.
Let me ask you this, and I think we maybe taken this question for granted, but what does he do with the curds? Does he eat them?
I was thinking so, but like maybe he uses it to build his house or something. Like
Build his house, or maybe a wife?
Okay.
Builds his wife out of cheese curds, kisses
Builds
it on the
his
lips,
wife.
it comes to life.
Yeah.
Something like
And he
that.
just has to move. No, I love that idea. I wouldn't have thought of that in a million years.
Why not?
Yeah.
It just feels intuitive to me.
I'm gonna write that down really quick.
Yeah, don't throw that
but
one
yeah.
away. Throw that
No.
that's gold.
It is. I can see this being the subject of a trauma movie at the very least. So
And that's how you know you've done a good job as a writer.
oh yeah, for sure. That or a full moon situation.
Well,
you
hey
know?
now, let's tread lightly.
Yeah. Well, you know. Let's see. So he uses curds to build his wife, kisses it comes to life. Does that mean that it kisses anything it kisses can like animate it, or like is that just
No.
like a special thing for the curds, do we think?
I would think it's part of the creature's life cycle.
Ah.
You know, it only works with cheese curds. Otherwise, why is it, going after this squeaky, disgusting cheese that
fair
people
enough.
only pretend to like because it's on poutine?
Well, you know. I've never had poutine, so I don't actually
Oh,
I don't
would
know.
you like some advice from a Canadian?
Sure.
Don't. It's
Okay.
fucking gross. I don't know why people like it so much.
I don't know.
You're gonna get some letters about this, but yeah, the poutine's fucking gross.
That's
can't
okay. I like fan mail. All right. I gotta get the thing.
Oh, were we allowed to swear? I should have asked that. I just assume. We're
Oh yeah,
all
you can
adults
fucking
here.
swear all you want. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
okay,
it's-
cool.
I
Jizz.
always just assume people. Yeah, exactly.
Big horse cock.
Ass blasters. And the other 5 words that you can't say on television. Where else are we going with this? So it's the only reason it uses curds to build its wife is because that it likes it or something like that. That's the only thing it can.
Now, so
use its
one
magic
thing to
on.
consider with a monster is like, what does it represent in folklore, right? Like,
Right.
why are we telling tales of this creature? And is it
Right.
is it a message about like not taking cheese curds for granted, or like, or perhaps on the nature of giving? Maybe if you don't give him your cheese curds or allow him to take them, something bad happened.
I like that a lot better than just like I had a thought and it's like gone, but I like the idea of just like if you don't give him your cheese curds, basically you'll have bad luck or something bad will happen. Like maybe it grows into like a pumpkin head-esque kind of creature.
Oh, interesting. Interesting.
And maybe terrorizes your entire family, like all the way down to your like between pretty much everybody that you're related to, which I guess in theory could just destroy all of humanity eventually. But
What if you simply lost the ability to eat poutine?
oh, like you wouldn't enjoy it anymore?
No, like
Or-
it just wouldn't go in your mouth. Like it just wouldn't work. Like,
Oh.
like you'd go to the doctor and he'd say, "What's wrong?" And you'd say, "Poutine doesn't work. It's not working."
So you'd become a medical anomaly. You just can't eat things.
Yeah.
Eat poutine specifically.
Well, doctor
Yeah,
would say
I
you
think
should
that
have
would
given
be-
some of your cheese curds to the curd snatcher. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be in this fucking mess.
It's true.
You
And
know,
then wait,
hoisted
what
by your
would
own
you do?
petard.
What would you do to like make it up to the curd snatcher then? Would you have to give it even more curds, or do you think it would be like something else, like you have to give him a full thing
I
of
don't
poutine? Or
like. Would you know where to find it? I would think that this curd snatcher, he is appearing when you least expect it. When you've been eating poutine for hours at this point. Curd snatcher shows up and he's like, "I'll have a curd," and
I would
you
love
say no, like, "No, curd snatcher, be gone." He's like, "Well, Then I shall take your ability to eat a poutine.
This sounds like a very real kind of thing that, people would run into in Canada all the time.
A very Rumpelstiltskin energy, like he's a
Yeah.
mysterious kind of figure that appears, strikes at random.
I like that idea.
Is this what you
there's-
wanted the podcast to be?
Yeah, it's
Just
pretty
so I'm
much.
clear?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, like
Because I feel like
when
I'm
I was
fucking
first coming
killing
up with
it
this
right now.
No, absolutely. Like when I came up with this idea, the idea for the podcast, like one of the two things I had in mind. One was I'd really like to have Solari on, and the other one is Mildred would fucking be great at this. So, yeah, no, you're living up to expectations and crushing them, frankly. So, yeah, this is wonderful. And I'll be honest, I kind of lost my train of thought again. I'm still kind of coming down from work, so
Could you court him if you leave a cheese curd under your pillow? Will he give you a gift?
oh, you know what? Yes, but what would that gift be? Because it can't just be poutine; it has to be something
That's it.
else. Maybe like $1.
Yeah, because what does he have that I want is the question.
That is a good question. He hoards every loony that he finds.
Anytime you lose a loony and you don't know where it went, the curd snatcher took that, and the only way to get it back is to leave a cheese curd under your pillow.
Exactly. Or he'll leave your, the lost sock that you lost in the laundry. But I like the loony
I don't
idea
want
better.
that
It's
back.
more
I don't know what he
Canadian.
did with it.
That's true.
I don't want this
It's
sock
a
back and it
pre-stiffened
smells like
sock.
poutine. Like, no, thank you.
Oh no.
I'll take the
That
loony,
would be
pal.
pretty bad.
Jesus.
Yeah. He just can't buy socks for his shoes, so or his sandals rather, so he just he steals other people's socks. Because the thing is, shops don't like to just when you pay for things with just loonies, and I imagine that loonies are not quite what you would need to buy a pair of socks. So
I
don't know.
We also have established that he wears socks and sandals. So
Yeah,
we would have to
yeah.
confront the inevitable suspicion, whether or not it is true, that he has worn our socks, and I don't want him to. Not to say
That's
that he
kind of what I was
doesn't,
going for, yeah.
but like I personally, if I were in this world with the curd snatcher, I don't want him wearing my clothes. All of my jean shorts and
Oh, you don't want
Habs
extra little
jerseys.
cheese curds all over the place? Come on. That would be a funny little thing too. He steals people's clothes. That's just like his mischievous kind of thing, aside from just like stealing the cheese curds, I guess.
yeah, like
he's
he
kind of
built
just
his
a menace.
nest from the clothes. Yeah, and I was deeply upset by the mental image of jean short pockets full to bursting with cheese curds.
Oh, come on. That would be great though. Like, you'd be able to hand them out to birds or something.
Would it, Ron?
I
Would
don't
that be
know.
great? I want you to picture
sure
this
would.
right now, okay? Because you're a little, still in your headspace from work. So I really want you to think about what it would feel like if you're wearing jean shorts, hot summer day. You need to get your keys. You reach into your pocket, squish, squish, squeak, squeak. Bunch of fucking cheese curds. Are you going to feel great in that moment? Are you going to feel like happy that that's happening to you?
No, I'd probably feel pretty dang awful. I'm going to be real with you.
Well, think next time.
Well, I don't really do that. That's why I'm the host of this show. I mean, that would be a pretty great thing too, though, if like until you find a way to like sate his curd lust, he like keeps on causing trouble for you by like, well, it'd be kind of silly for him to put curds in your pocket if he just wants curds, but like maybe they're old rotten curds that he hasn't eaten.
A kind of fool's curd.
Yeah, or it's
He uses
just, like,
some sort
something
of
gross
fey
like that.
magic to make like something appear to be a cheese curd. You think you're going to get a nice squeaky little cheese treat. You bite into it. It's pocket lint. You fucked up.
Oh no,
He got you again.
that is fucked up. Man, I really got to remember to put this curd under my pillow at night. Otherwise, he's just
I'm
gonna
getting
keep
really
on doing
scared.
Stuff like this.
Yeah, I'm getting frightened of the curd snatcher. I think we've done a good job because it speaks to a deep truth.
Oh yeah, that you should share your curds whenever possible.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
But frankly, he can have all of mine. I don't want them. They're gross.
Do we think he would have some kind of a weakness, like in terms of like if you were to do battle with him or try to ward him away?
Heart disease, I think, is because he is eating like a lot of cholesterol. Let's be real here. Like that's
That's
not a lot
true.
of fiber in that diet. I think that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, because he doesn't do any of the other poutine. He just does like the curds. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so he can't get scared very much, or he might keel over from a heart attack or something to that effect.
Yeah, and he's easy to outrun, I would think.
Do you think he's like a squat little guy, like he's all like round and stuff, or are you thinking like gremlin kind of?
I'm thinking
like,
gremlin. Yeah, I do like the idea of
Yeah.
a squirt little goblin, but I picture, like as I said, like the very long arms for curd snatching, right? I think that's, and in order to make that work, I do think we have to have some sort of compromise that makes the body smaller. Otherwise, we're
Yeah, that's
veering into Slender Man territory.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I always imagine him being like short and stuff like that. I just kind of picture him being like roly poly because of all this stuff as well. But
honestly, if you're snatching, right,
Mm-hmm.
that is a short activity.
That
I
is
feel like
true.
tall people grab, short people snatch.
that is true. That is true because you gotta grab it and then run away.
And I know,
Which makes me wonder-
snatch
it-
means a different thing in drag culture. I don't
What?
gonna get the comments about it. Okay, I know. Oh, I can't believe they didn't talk about this. We know.
You can leave all the comments you want. Actually, I
No,
would take all
don't.
the engagement I can
Only
get.
leave nice comments.
Okay, yeah. Well, yes, I'd prefer that. But yeah. All right, I like this guy. I think he's really cool, or at the very least horrifying, and exactly what I anticipated when I came up with the Markham Curd Snatcher like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, I didn't even. Yeah, the fact that he's from Markham, that hasn't even entered into my.
Yeah,
Again, like it is a Quebecois dish.
yeah.
I think
It could be from somewhere else, but like I just said Markham because like that's the one like smaller Canadian town I know about, and like it reminded me of the idea that kind of spawned this was the Fresno Nightwalkers or whatever
Yes.
it was, because I
My
remember you
favorite
said that you
cryptid,
like
yeah.
those. Yeah. So I was like, what could I do that's like kind of localized, but like so. But he could be from somewhere else if you'd rather he be from.
For the
Quebec.
record, when Ron refers to Markham as a small town, I just looked it up. It has a population of 340,000 people.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild. I always pictured it as being like a cul-de-sac and that's it. And that's because I only know like one person who lives there, and they live on the same street where they shot ginger snaps. So
Oh, wow.
yeah. But yeah, that was I didn't realize it's roughly the same population as the city I live in. So that's
Americans, I find, often have inflated expectations for how many people should live in a city.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I'm like, what? There's not 6 million people who live there? Well, in that case, it's tiny.
There is only one city in Canada that has 6 million people, and it is Toronto.
Yeah, of course. The only one I've been to, and the best one, probably, to somebody,
Ooh.
I'm sure.
You
I
just
don't
took so much
actually
heat
know.
off of me from my anti-Putin stances. You have no idea.
There you
Every
go. You're
single
welcome.
member of the Canadian voting public will be out to get you for saying that.
What's that? You don't like the most American Canadian city? Oh, I'm so scared.
Here, let me balance it out for you, and I'll get all the New Yorkers mad. Toronto is just Canada's New York. It's just as good, just
Yeah.
as cultured.
That's what I've always heard.
The pizza's
I've
better,
I've
though.
always heard it's like, okay, well, now you're gonna get some. Now you're gonna get some heat as well. I can't wait for all these comments. Oh, yeah. I have not had pizza in Toronto though, or Canada in general, I guess. So I'll take your
It's
word for it. but-
it's the same. You could probably get a poutine pizza somewhere, but
Oh, I
if you
can
do, look
imagine.
out because
for the Markham Curd Snatcher. Yeah, he might be hanging around. You never know. Be sure to give him a curd if you catch him, because otherwise. Oh, do we think he's like a leprechaun where if you catch him, like he has to do
grant a
something for
wish?
you? Yeah, something
Or
like
does
that.
he tell you where his pot of curds is?
Stop! Don't hurt me. I'll tell you where I keep my wife. Oh, yeah. That's I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Um,
I like everything about this creature. I'm
yeah,
very
it's
inspired by him.
me too. I can't wait to go out with my Hawaiian shirt over my white Taurus shirt with my jean shorts, sandals, and socks,
Yeah.
and go steal some cheese from people. Squeaky cheese, apparently. I've never even like seen a cheese curd, if I'm being honest, like in person. So the
Yeah,
squeakiness is news to
they're
me.
what you imagine. If you
I kind of figure they're just like little balls of cheese.
not necessarily balls, but
Oh, okay. Well,
they're like a little piece of cheese.
I
Looks like a
got you.
tater tot almost.
Oh, they're that big? Jeez.
They can be. It depends. Often the ones I see in poutine are smaller, but
Oh,
like a
okay.
traditional cheese curd is big and squeaky.
Okay. That makes
Very
a little bit more
unpleasant to eat.
sense. It sounds like it. I again never been in the same room as a cheese curd, but I believe you.
I don't want any of my food to squeak. That's why I don't eat mice.
Are you sure? You don't not ever? You
Not
don't give
ever.
any to Bobby Duke? Never?
No, he eat worms, man.
Oh
Eats
yeah,
worms.
that's right. Oh god, I gotta get up on the lore again. I should have known. All right. Well, that's the Markham Curd Snatcher. Unless you got something else you want to add.
No, I think we've really completed his character arc. Yeah.
Yeah, we have sufficiently grossed out anybody who has strong opinions about curds or pizza. So that works for me. All right, moving along to the next one. So the next monster I kind of came up with because we were kind of talking before about some stuff.
What do you
And
mean
I
you came
thought,
up with? I thought you fed it into this enormous
oh yeah,
machine
that's
in
right.
the corner.
Well, see, it listens to me while I sleep. And like, yeah, so I kind of come up with it and it just kind of spits them back out at me like at random. So like, yeah, I don't know. It's a weird like, what do you call it there?
Faustian bargain where it takes a year
Yeah.
off your life every time it extracts one of these ideas from your noggin.
Exactly. So you understand completely.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
So
But
so just to be clear, you have like a finster like role to read a repulsa, and you sculpt these things out of clay, feed them into the monsterizer, and they come out and do battle with the Power Rangers. Is that kind of the
it's more like it comes up with the ideas, does a little sound effect, poops them out, and then I speak them to somebody else and we create a monster. I don't actually know why it does it. Maybe it's building them within itself.
do you know,
You know,
what it
there's-
wants?
No, it just showed up one day.
Oh, concerning. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's no,
This
that's
is
okay.
something I had not considered.
Maybe that's something to discuss with guests ahead of
Yeah.
recording, because I just have a bit of a history with evil eldritch beings. So just next time.
Okay. Sorry about that. I'll be
No, no,
sure
no.
I'll adjust the format so that next time, we know a little bit more about what it's doing. I never really thought to ask it though. So maybe one day with all the writhing tentacles and mass and fur and everything like that and machinery, I'll find out why it is there.
You seem very passive about this. I just feel like if that happened in my life, I would have a lot of questions.
Well, the thing about it is, I think it might have like some kind of a power to like, stop me from thinking too hard about it.
Yeah, see,
like
that exactly. This is the shit I'm talking about. Because like, if I
Yeah.
thought that, right, if that would motivate me to really try and buckle down on what's happening here. But it seems like you're kind of just going with the flow, which I respect. But I do kind of, it's not
yeah.
not my way.
I mean, it kind of helps to pay the rent sometimes. So not
Oh, good. Okay.
yeah. In that my nightmares, bring in revenue from this podcast, but yeah, you never know. it also has a job at the local Taco Bell. Yeah. It's kind of weird, actually. I've never seen it
lot of
move,
stuff.
but
Lot of stuff about this seem a little unusual. If I'm being 100% with you, if I'm keeping it a loony.
I mean, we're American here, so things are already kind of bad. This is like the least bad thing.
Okay, fair enough.
Is kind of the way I'm looking at it. So the next monster we got going on here that I sort of came up with while I was sleeping, the only thing it wrote down here is it lives in a gym. And so I guess it's just a background thing where
Spell
it
that
lives
for
in
me?
a gym. A GYM.
Okay, that's an important clarification.
Yeah. I mean, it could also live in a gym, JIM, or
That's
a
not
James,
what it says.
but
Then we would be betraying the pact we've kind of entered into.
that is true. That is true. I don't want to, make
look,
it mad. You never know.
Here's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Within a gym, there is a man named Jim that it lives
Oh, all right. Lives in a gym. Who lives in a gym?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know why Jim lives in a gym. I guess maybe he's just attracted to things with, phonetically similar names.
Maybe. Or like when we say live in a gym, is this like something that the gym allows, or does he perhaps like live in the walls?
Oh, I'm gonna say it wasn't intended to be living here, but like maybe it. I don't know. What do you think? What would
I'm
what
definitely
would you
getting
say?
a in the walls vibe from the gym, which and I think like we need to also
All right,
make a
we've already
decision.
solved the name.
Yeah. We need to make the decision right away on whether this creature is jacked or merely aspires to become jacked, or maybe struggles with some sort of body image issue that when it sees people who are too jacked, it becomes irate.
Ooh, I like that one just because then it will keep like the meatheads out of the gym. I don't know how it would do it, like if it gets angry, like what it would do. But I think
do
that's
like
an
the
interesting
idea of a monster that preys only on the very, very strong.
Yeah, yeah.
The people who would have the least to fear.
Yeah. So maybe it finds a way to like weaken them, or
Maybe it's like a fitness vampire that can suck the
yeah,
fitness out of your muscles.
it just turns you into a scrawny nerd.
Yeah. It like gets you into magic cards. You don't have time to go to the gym anymore.
Guess what? You're gonna deal with this whole mana land thing. I don't know much about magic either, so
No, me either.
I'm just those are words I've heard. If we're gonna get even more heat for that, I feel like
'Cause you're gonna tap your card.
yep, you're gonna
put it in the graveyard.
there
There you go.
with the
That's some
fitness
magic words.
vampire is. Yep.
Black Lotus, etc.
It costs a ridiculous amount of money.
So the gym. I'm
The
thinking
gym.
the gym turns you into a Slim Jim. So okay, all right. So there we go. So there's like a children's nursery rhyme like horror element. Like not unlike so many
Yeah.
Babadooks.
Ah.
I'm picturing like a the salt vampire from Star Trek.
No, I'm not familiar with that one actually, unless it was a Next Generation.
It wasn't. It was in the original series, but it's a creature. It's got a big sucker on the front of its face that it sucks all the salt out of your body.
Oh, okay. I'm looking it up right now. I see this guy.
Yeah, what that mouth do? Am I right?
Yeah, it's kind of got a lamprey kind of look to it, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And so like you're at the gym. You're doing your bicep curls, and you look over and you see the gym sucking on your bicep, literally eating the fitness within your muscles. And you see your arm like shrivel up and you can't lift the weight anymore. And your form goes to absolute shit.
Oh no. So you're not even doing the exercise right anymore.
So you can't, it's even harder to like build back up because like, your
Yeah.
form is fucked.
It messes with your form, your ability to do the exercise. Oh man, yeah, that's pretty messed up. I'd be terrified of going to the gym at that point, and then I'd want to get into Magic the Gathering so I could just avoid it.
Yeah. Or
Oh,
calisthenics or something. But yeah.
yeah, or something like that. Yeah, I mean, body weight fitness is supposedly, a good way to exercise without the, budget. So,
Now, how did he become this way? Was he once a man who befell a horrible curse, or is the Jim born of some foul magic?
so I feel like I do a lot of revenge spirits on this podcast
Okay.
about monsters. So I kind of want to navigate away from that, but it feels like one of those things again where it's nerds getting revenge on people.
See, I don't see it that way because I don't think a
Interesting.
nerd, right? A nerd doesn't seek to become strong,
True.
right? The Jim, I picture him sucking the strength out and gaining it. Like he becomes stronger when he sucks your strength out.
Yeah,
When
that
he
makes sense.
when he sucks you, he gets stronger.
Yeah,
And
yeah, it's kind of like a succubus, but like
Yeah.
for your strength.
yeah. Like I'm picturing like he's like scrawny and then he sucks your strength out and like Space Jam style, like a Monstar just kind of blows up physically.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense, and it would be
I
pretty
think that's
terrifying to see
definitely
something that
one
buff.
thing about it is that it makes so much sense. Yeah.
It does. Yeah, yeah. It would definitely. It would definitely be a problem, and I don't think the gym would want that living within its walls.
And I think
So,
like bodybuilders would talk about it in hushed tones. Every time they had a bad workout, they'd be like, "Is this the Jim? Has he finally
Oh.
come for me?"
did I not notice it this whole time? Would he be really stealthy then? Like I'd imagine, because
No, I think it's more like, and again, I'm saying no. I shouldn't be saying no. This is
No,
how
that's
improv
okay.
works. I imagine that he becomes this creature that you're seeing in the shadows. Like
oh,
if you don't see the Jim, he could be anywhere. And so if you're a muscle bound person looking to blast your lats and shred your quads, like you're at the gym and all of a sudden you're having an off day, you've maybe plateaued, you're like not getting shredded like you wanted to, like you're trying to do this progressive overload and it's just not happening, like you can't do another rep, like you're at muscle failure, like at rep 10, it's what the fuck,
yeah.
I did so much better last week, and in the back of your head, there's a part of you that's like, is this the Jim?
Yeah, yeah. And he's just like lurking around in the corner or something like that. Like I could picture a scene where like all of the lights go out inside of the gym and then it comes and attacks, this guy or something like that, this lady who's like, I don't know, doing whatever the thing is where you lift the bars over your head, like a press or something like that. I
believe
don't know.
you're
I could
referring to a bench press.
No, I meant like when they're like standing and like holding it up, and I don't know.
Oh, you're
I've
referring
never-
to a circus strongman.
Yeah. yes. He attacks circus strongmen especially. That's his favorite because they taste like cotton candy, I'd imagine.
Yeah. When
So-
Charles Atlas goes to the gym, that's what he does.
Yeah. All these years after he's dead, whenever he goes to the gym. I think he's dead anyway. Maybe he's not.
He would have to be, right?
I would hope so. That sounds bad, but let me take a look really
I mean,
quick.
he's old.
Yeah, Wikipedia says was. He died in 1972. So
We're good.
he was born
We're
in
good on that.
1892. Yeah.
We can
I
say
don't
whatever
think
the
that we have
fuck
to
we
worry
want
about
about Charles Atlas. He can't
yeah,
say
fucking
shit.
Charles Atlas with his goddamn inspiring the Rocky Horror Picture Show. How dare he? How dare he?
How dare he? So Jim, I'm picturing like, again, he starts scrawny, gets muscle bound as he sucks the fitness out of you. He's wearing a little headband, like a sweatband, like a workout outfit,
Yeah.
right? Like a stringer tee and like a gray
Yeah,
sweatpants.
yeah. But it's just at first he's like really skinny and then he bulks up and
Yeah.
he doesn't have to worry about ripping his clothes because they are workout clothes and being worn by
Yeah.
big muscly guys. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Would he have any kind of weakness, any way to like keep people away from him, or keep him away from people? Like, do you think like if you wear garlic to the gym,
I
would that
was
maybe?
thinking, right? Because again, like I've returned to this home base of like in folklore, what lesson would you be trying to impart? And I would think
Mhm.
it would have to be some gym based sin, like not re-racking your weights or like grunting too loudly or not having good form, you know?
Recording yourself exercising, yeah,
Yeah,
with people in the
or like
background.
not wiping down the machines when you're done.
Yeah, just generally being an inconvenience to other people around you. Not like you said, showing good gym etiquette.
Yeah. Like this is what parents tell their children when their children are working out inconsiderately.
Yeah.
You'd best
Now,
re-rack those
Susie.
weights lest the gym come.
Yeah, exactly. If you leave those barbells sitting around, the gym will get you and suck all of the strength from your bones. And then you'll just go and play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. But like how would you defeat the gym?
Well, I don't think I have much to fear from the gym, to be quite frank with you. I think
Oh, well,
my
yeah, me
my
either.
my body composition is such that I do not feel he's going to get the nourishment he requires. He's just going to starve to death in a fight with me. Like I'm good, I think.
Okay, so you just have to kind of like it's like a almost a war of attrition kind of thing where you just have to let him like
Well, it's not my fucking problem,
leave
you know.
you.
Like
Yeah,
like
exactly.
first of all, immaculate gym etiquette. I always re-rack my
Oh
weights.
yeah.
I always wipe down the machines. I'm
Oh,
good.
I believe you. Yeah.
But also just like what's he gonna do? You know?
Yeah, fair point, and same here. Uh, I feel like a way to maybe maybe get back at him or prevent him from attacking you. Yeah, like you said, just have good gym etiquette and maybe don't go too hard. In the gym, like realize
Yeah,
there
I think
are other
stretching
things.
also would stretching
Oh
would
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. No, you got to prevent yourself from being injured by the gym by
You
stretching.
do you do a good
That's what
warm
the
up, and
thing
I feel
is.
like a bit protected.
Yeah. Like maybe he's like really what's the word I'm looking for here? Repelled by yoga.
It's
If
also
you're
like
really
I think
flexible,
like
he's like, ugh.
ancient cultures who originated the gym, they
Mhm.
didn't understand why you would get stiff muscles after working out at the gym. And so to explain
Ah,
it, they came up with the gym, you know.
yes,
It made sense to them.
yes.
There's some sort of creature going around sucking the strength out of you.
Clearly, it's making you into a nerd, which
It
is
is
why you need to lift more or something.
the gym is angry with us for we have not re-racked our weights. Like
Yeah.
we must stretch to please him.
Clearly, somebody's been sweating on all of the machines and not wiping them down after the fact.
Not
So,
looking at anybody in particular, Dave, but
mm, yep,
that's how you get gyms.
yeah, and not that kind either. Uh, I don't know what that was supposed to mean. Okay, well, we go with the Jim. Do we want to add anything else to him? Him, as it were.
I I feel he is complete.
All right. Yeah, I think having a lamprey mouth and just generally looking,
Yeah,
I mean,
no face
becoming
other
like
than that.
giant.
Also, by the way, I
Yeah,
thought
yeah. He's just, yeah.
no eyes, no
Of course.
nose, no
No,
ears,
just
just lamprey mouth
it's just a
and
mouth
sweatband.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and
And
very sweaty
oh,
all the time,
very
all the time.
clammy. No, that was the other thing I thought about when I was bringing you on the show was like we're gonna have some things that are gonna be wet puppets.
Oh
So
yeah,
like I
yes, yeah.
figure that's the same kind of thing for the Markham Curd Snatcher as well. Is he's covered in like I don't know cheese goo or something. I don't know.
Yeah, like a cheddar goblin type of situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you heat cheddar and it like has that greasy kind of stuff comes off it. Yeah, he's just
Oil, I believe they call
covered
it
in a
in the biz.
what's it called?
Oil, I believe they call it in the biz.
Oh yes, of course. He's just always got a sheen of just cheese oil all over him. But yeah, I think the Jim sounds pretty intimidating. I wouldn't want to run into him in a gym or
No.
a gym, as it were. What style of horror is one that you identify with the most?
Huh. I would say like practical effects heavy 80s movies. So
Yeah.
like The Thing, The Fly, stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. If you're, I mean, one of the things that made me appreciate standard or not standard, practical effects more was watching your coverage of movies like the ones from Full Moon or from, I mean, Psycho Gorman. I think was like the
Yeah.
one that really made me start to appreciate it more. Was like I don't know how they did this, but also like make it look like to make it look so effective and also so cheap at the same time. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Well, Psycho Gorman is very tokusatsu in that respect.
Yes, exactly.
I know this has come up. Power Rangers have come up again. Tokusatsu is a Japanese genre. I believe it actually the word translates to special effects, but it's stuff like Power Rangers, Ultraman, and Godzilla to some extent are tokusatsu. It's like they're wearing suits and doing practical special effects. Like that's yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. I had not heard that phrase before. I mean, there are some listeners who may never have heard that phrase before. Yeah. So, but that makes a lot of sense. I've again found a real appreciation for those through watching your reviews and stuff like that.
Like to me, my like home base for horror, right? Like what I think of when I think of horror will always be the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Like that was the horror franchise when I was a child, and it shaped my view of horror growing up.
Yeah.
And so much of that is like the inventive use of practical effects, like Freddy Krueger turning into a giant snake and swallowing somebody, or
That was so cool.
shrinking them into a cockroach and squishing them.
That was probably like the scariest thing I had seen when I was a little kid. Like that still sticks with me today. Was like that scene where he does that because I was like, ooh, I still think about like breaking my arm or something like that and having like roach like extremities coming out.
Check in, but they don't
Yeah.
check out, bitch.
Yes, a solid film. Nightmare on Elm Street 4. Was it 5?
I believe that's 4. It's either 4 or 5. I don't
Yeah.
bother making a distinction between Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5. They are, in
No,
my
I
mind,
don't blame
the same
you.
movie.
they really are. Just really.
Every other film in
I
the
don't know.
franchise has such a distinct identity, except 4 and 5, which, as far as I'm concerned, are interchangeable.
I agree completely. Just like, hey, here's these great characters from the last movie, and now they're dead.
Yeah, they're dead. But look, I'm wearing little sunglasses. That's fun.
Ah, look at this.
This could be a
shark.
fun one.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. You like Freddy because he has these like little one-liners and stuff like that. Oh, you're going to love this. Let me
We're
tell
going to
you.
run out of budget about halfway through and have an extended fight scene where a guy is fighting an invisible Freddy that represented only by sound effects. Isn't that scary? Aren't you scared?
I gotta say, I never thought about that until just now, but that's pretty messed up. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it's just like this character, unmotivated, has a dream where he's in a karate dojo
Yeah.
and is just doing karate when Freddy comes in and is invisible, not related to karate, not base. Does this kid have like a subconscious fear of invisible things? Like that's not Freddy isn't known for his like subtlety, his desire not to be seen or noticed,
If anything, it's the exact opposite.
Yeah, so him being invisible, like, oh, you're going to do karate? Great idea for a Freddy set piece, because what you want then is you want Freddy to show up and he's in a gi and he's doing
Yeah.
moves like, with his
could have the
glove
red
and like
and
chopping
green.
stuff.
Oh, that's what I
Yeah.
call a karate chop, bitch.
That's
He could be
there's
like-
your,
Yeah, we're doing work for New Line Cinema now. Like, come
Yeah.
on.
yeah.
Yeah, you could have him do like they
Bob
could still
Shea, you
have
got
him
my
do
number.
like an ad for. Yeah, exactly. They could have him do like a thing for Fruit Ninja even now, like that game that's totally relevant still. And
Yeah. He's
yeah.
like playing Fruit Ninja and then he scratches up his phone with his glove.
yeah,
Should have bought Apple Care,
perfect
bitch.
score. Yeah. This is adapting Nightmare on Elm Street to the modern generation.
Yeah.
Your warranty was expired because you decided to switch out the battery on your own.
It's in the modern Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy doesn't kill people. You just have dreams where you break your phone in increasingly unlikely ways.
Oh no, I can't believe I dropped it down 3 million sets of stairs. That's wild. Without the case on? Ah.
Can't believe another rhinoceros stepped on my phone.
And it was followed by a gang of hippos. What? Those don't hang out together, I'd imagine.
This isn't a biome I would expect either of those creatures, to be frank.
I was thinking that there would be some kind of a curd snatcher here.
A curd snatcher I could see, yeah, for sure. Where is Springwood again? Is it
California, I think, or
is it
Ohio,
in
maybe?
I always thought of it as in the Midwest, but I think that's because like the idea of an Elm Street being this like archetypical American city. When I think of archetypical America, it's always in the Midwest.
Yeah. It is Ohio, so
Yeah.
I always thought California for some reason.
Well, it's obviously shot in California, so
well,
you're not wrong to think that.
Yeah. It would have been something else if they had shot it like I don't know somewhere else.
It's like if you go back and watch Halloween. There's all these like they brought in leaves to make it look Halloweeny, but you can see in the background there's tons of palm trees.
I never looked that close at it, but I believe you.
That's how good a director John Carpenter is. You also didn't notice all of the shots where you can clearly see John Carpenter's cigarette smoke.
Oh no, that's just atmosphere. What are you talking about? That's just ambiance. This monster comes to us from the mind of Solari, who was one of my previous guests. Let's see here. And he came up with the monster name Hoobastank, which is definitely not a real thing. You don't have to be worried about that.
Now, I do
Hoobastank
feel
is not
like my
real.
creative output could be limited here by the fact that I know almost nothing about Hoobastank.
That's okay. I don't either.
If you're expecting me to make all sorts of Hoobastank puns based on their various song titles, I'm sorry to tell you, I couldn't name a single one.
Well, I guess you'll be crawling in the dark a little bit here.
I don't even get that. From context, I can put together that that's probably a Hoobastank song, but again, it's wasted on me. This is gold, and you're wasting it on me.
Well, I'm sorry. It's just the reason is because like Solari, came up with this. So
yes, yes. So elephant in the room. All right, it's got the word stank in it.
It sure does.
Is this a
Just
stinky
like an
monster?
I mean, it has to be. Ever since I introduced the phrase, ever since the phrase Melodious has been introduced to the introduction of the show, we have to have at least one stinky monster. Now, granted, the previous two monsters were a smelly little tourist and a thing that lives in the middle of a gym, or in the walls of a gym, rather.
I think it's sample bias, right? Because I do feel like a monster, they are prone to stinkiness.
That is true.
I think like if you view most monsters, a lot of them are going to stink.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't have like the same access to bathing and stuff that we humans do.
Nor do I think they're necessarily so inclined.
No.
Dracula probably doesn't stink, but like Wolfman, he stink.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein's monster definitely smells.
Yes,
of the grave.
Invisible Man, can't smell him, unsmellable.
It's true. That's the way smell works. If you can't see it, you can't smell it. That's why silent but deadly is a real thing. So I'm thinking, I'm torn between two directions. I'm torn between two worlds here, and it pains me because I have this image of a giant skunk tail, but I also think Axe body spray. I mean, it could have a giant skunk tail and spray Axe body spray.
It is truly a terrifying idea.
Like, look at this. I got raisin stripes, and then it sprays out Axe body spray. Now you're going to be hounded by, because Axe body spray, for those of you who are not old enough to remember, the whole selling point was that basically it would make you more attractive to women. And I believe it had the opposite effect.
It certainly did. But
Yeah.
a bit of the nuance is missing there, because I feel like you hear that and you think, well, a lot of products advertise their sex appeal, but in an Axe body spray commercial, the way that they would demonstrate this is like some little twerp would spray Axe on himself, and then like women would explode through walls trying to get to him, like hot supermodels would just be raining from the sky and like falling into his lap, and they would turn to the camera and they say, if you buy this product, I will personally suck your dick.
I distinctly remember that specific commercial. Yeah, it was like this came out around the same time as like Left 4 Dead, so it was very easy for them to just like graft all of these people onto the zombies. Then they're just like chasing, the guy. But yeah, that was essentially the idea. Is like you will become.
Now, see, now we're getting somewhere. Can the Hoobastank kind of bewitch people with the power of Axe body spray?
Yes, I think so, and I think that it would also. I think that it would have to last for a long time as well. It's not like a short-term thing. No. So like you'd have to keep on running and running and running, and then
I think it's like until the stink goes away.
Right.
As long as you can smell the Axe body spray from the Hoobastank, you are under its perverse influence.
You'd be insatiable to everybody around you.
Oh, interesting.
And they would just have to have that. They would just have to have that smell on them. So, like, maybe they would rip your skin off so that they could rub it against themselves or something.
Interesting. Interesting. So,
or maybe not.
Not sexual. Then it's merely that people love the stink so much that they have to get your stink.
It could be both.
Well, yeah, we're not kink shaming here. Yeah. Nobody here is kink shaming for your stink.
No,
play.
if you enjoy ripping the skin off of people, then
consensually, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of what I'm picturing is like, they want to have that smell on them, and then maybe it leads to an entire thing where like
wouldn't there be like a cascade effect
ripping each other apart?
Though? Like the Hoobastank sprays one person, everybody is so desperate to get that stink, they get it on themselves, then other people smell it, and et cetera, et cetera. It's like if the Hoobastank breaches containment, it's like there's an exponential stink that would destroy the world in days, I feel. Exponential
Stink, by the way, name of my band. But I think you're right. Maybe it's a temporary thing where once you have like ripped off the skin from the victim of the Hoobastank and like rubbed it on yourself, then like the hypnosis effect wears off, and suddenly like everybody around them is just like covered in blood and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and then they're all horrified by that.
I would think it would have to be only direct contact with the Hoobastank could cause this curse to befall you, because otherwise that's far too much power to give the Hoobastank, I think.
No, I agree. Then it would become like a god or something like that, a demigod of sorts, a smelly, stinky demigod.
Why is it doing this to us?
Oh, so I'm thinking that so going back to the skunk thing, what if it's because it's afraid?
It fears us more than we fear it?
Yeah. Or just it's very jumpy, Well, maybe not that jumpy, because then, like you said, it could cascade out of control. But like maybe if it just gets scared, then it...
That's okay. Can I throw an alternate suggestion?
Absolutely.
Since we're leaning into this kind of Axe body spray space, I do feel that like a Pepe Le Pew type of situation also makes sense, where it's this kind of lonely creature looking to find companionship, and the only way it knows to get it is to brainwash you with its love stink.
Oh yeah, and so it brings all these people around to, well, maybe not intentionally like kill this one person, but
that's what I'm thinking, right? Is that like they spray this person thinking like, now this person will have to love me because of my good stink, but as an unintended side effect, when other people smell them, they rip their skin off to get it.
Yeah. That seems horrific. And it's like a thing where it's like, if you love something, the moral of the story is like maybe don't love something too much or something like that. Like don't obsess over it or something. I don't know if that's a good message to have, but it's a message.
And I think a good message also about it is like, I do feel a strong brand synergy here that we could parlay into like a lucrative partnership with Axe Body Spray.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I think that we could definitely. Is Axe Body Spray still around even?
It is
like,
absolutely still around. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay, that seems
Wearing
a
it
little
right now.
Antiquated. Okay, well that explains the knocking I hear in the background.
Yeah. No, I have to board up my doors.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, but that makes sense then. And yeah, we could probably turn this into some kind of a merchandising deal. I'm sure that we might be at a bit of a disadvantage because we kind of rely on them, but we can also just make our own spray deodorant. And
Here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking, right? If Axe Body Spray comes to us with a brand deal, then spraying yourself with Axe Body Spray protects you from the Hoobastank.
Oh, so
otherwise it attracts the Hoobastank. Fuck, they don't get it for free.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. So it's kind of like to ward off the Hoobastank, you spray yourself with Axe Body Spray. Yeah. That's a great weakness, I think.
Okay, so skunk tail that sprays Axe Body Spray. Physically, what are we thinking for this creature?
So aside from the skunk tail, whenever I think about like right away, I'm thinking about like a dude with like a Letterman jacket, but like I don't know why. Because now I'm just thinking about like an anthropomorphized like skunk thing.
Okay,
but
all right. So
I think that it should be something else.
50 years ago, this very night, on a full moon, on a night not unlike this night, a young lover wanted to give his Letterman jacket to his sweetheart. But before he could, he was sprayed by a skunk and stank so bad that she ran away. And in an effort to chase her, they were both struck by a car. And he is now cursed to wander the earth until he finds a sweetheart that he can give his Letterman jacket to. Alas, the stench of his Axe Body Spray, though it has the ability to attract someone to him and make them love him, causes him to be alone forever as their skin is always ripped off.
Oh no.
But should he ever manage to give you his Letterman jacket, the curse is lifted and you become the Hoobastank.
Oh no, that's a great. I like that. Yeah, let's do that because I could think of no greater hell than wearing a Letterman jacket, unironically.
I don't think that's the part about it that I would struggle with the most. I think it's like living a life of perpetual solitude that I think would get to me more than the Letterman jacket.
Oh yeah, I guess the loneliness would be sad too. Yeah, I like that. That's a great backstory. And I guess explanation for him. And I think that tracks.
You just like, you hear like a skittering in the bushes, right? And then emerges this like pale boy in a Letterman jacket with a skunk tail. And he says,
and he just looks so forlorn. Yeah.
Go steady with me. And before you can even respond, he sprays you with his love stink and you don't know what is going on,
Oh yeah. No, I'm picturing this as a scene right now, and and then you get ripped apart by like everybody around you, like.
Yeah, you go to tell your friends, I just met the coolest guy. I think I'm in love with him. He stinks so good, and they're like, yeah, 1 second though, let me get your skin.
yeah.
Let me just get that skin real quick. I know you're telling me something important, but I can't. I'm not going to be able to listen until I get that skin. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's really distracting. I need your skin.
Yeah, I think that sounds like an incredible like a beginning like of a movie there though.
Yeah, I mean it is essentially the beginning of the movie Candyman, but I've kind of put my own little stink on it, if you will.
I don't remember that being in the movie Candyman, but
isn't there a part where Ted Raimi they're telling this story and Ted Raimi is like the bad boyfriend and it's like an old urban legend. I'm only half remembering it. I don't want to keep this line of conversation going because we've said the word twice now, 3 more times, and we're out of here. So
That's true.
just,
That's
you know.
true. Okay, so we won't talk about our favorite songs from the Willy Wonka soundtrack either.
The World of Imagination is better anyway, so it's a better song. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. I don't remember any of the other songs aside from like that one and the other one that now we can't say
We can't say
the word.
It's too dangerous.
Yeah, Beetlejuice. You know,
Yeah,
that
the song
one.
Beetlejuice from Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka. I remember that one. It's all about the star
Sung
constellation.
by
or
Bloody
something
Mary,
like
I
that.
believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's my other band, along with Exponential Stink. Our side project. We cover the darkness a lot. What else can we do with this guy? So he's looking sad.
What can't we do with this guy?
What? Well, so I'm trying to like. I feel like he's just like a zombie with a skunk tail at this point, right?
Well, I was thinking more of an apparition than a zombie.
An apparition? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Oh yeah, because he got hit by a car and he's dead. But he's
But like
not.
the like palpable sense of a need for companionship was so strong and kind of magical realism sense that it created this being, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Like he's born
and then-
of a longing that he couldn't fulfill in life.
Yeah. And that makes sense with the Letterman jacket thing too, because then you'd maybe have to like dig up his grave or something like that in order to get it.
Yeah, that's how you put him to
You
rest
know?
for good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then you burn his bones or something to that effect.
You got it, but don't let a dog piss on his bones because then he's right
No,
back.
no.
No, that's a classic blunder. You don't want to.
Oh yeah. No, you don't want your flaming dog pee to do that because yeah, that's normal, right? You know, dogs usually.
I feel like
urinate fire.
it's one of the top causes of mortality in the
Yeah,
country.
yeah. I guess my dog's just different. All right, so we got this stinky little guy with a skunk's tail. He sprays Axe body spray at people. He's a ghost with a Letterman jacket that you gotta wear and then burn his body or something to that effect. Do you think that Letterman's jacket just shows up whoever gets affected by this thing?
Well, again, if he gets it on you, then you're his sweetheart and you become the Hoobastank, right? So
That's true. That's a good point. I forgot about that.
I don't think it should be easy to find.
I thought that like when you get the Letterman jacket, like for some reason I had it like crossed in my mind. I was like, oh, when you get the Letterman jacket, then you can destroy it because like he has love for you or something like that.
Yeah, I mean
but-
I think like that's how you put him to rest, right? But I think that like if he gets it on you first, like you're
Okay, so you're trying to find it before he can put it on you. Is that correct?
well, yeah, I mean it's a ghost story, right? So I'm thinking there is a physical Letterman jacket, you know, on the body.
Right.
But then there's also this kind of spiritual, it goes with him, it appears on him.
Oh, okay,
You know?
okay. So there's like there's like a literal one and then a like you said, like a
Yeah.
spiritual one. They're two different things. You want to get rid of the OG one in order to kind of
What I
destroy its
I
power.
am proposing is that baked into the Hoobastank is a sort of mind-body dualism.
Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Well, I kind of like this guy. What else do we think we need to add? Does he have any special powers aside from the stinkiness, or any kind of weaknesses aside from getting his body burned, or is there any kind of physical?
What would a 1950s boyfriend be good at?
Oh, putting his hair up in a pompadour. That's kind of where I'm thinking the skunk tail comes from. Actually, is like he's got like a pompadour, but it's kind of got the you picturing what I'm picturing. Yeah. Cars would probably be a thing.
Which is doubly ironic because he was killed in a
He
car crash,
was.
right?
He was. He
Yeah.
forgot to put it in park, and so he got rolled over by his own car.
Very slowly.
Like, hey, watch out!
And that happens to skunks, right? Like skunks are roadkill often.
It's true.
so
Very true.
it's all coming
Oh
together.
yeah, maybe there was a skunk piloting the car. You know, maybe it was just like got in because all those 50 cars, they're all convertibles. So it was just like with its
He
little
dropped
paws.
his switchblade comb, and the skunk wanted to brush its hair real quick and accidentally undid the parking brake,
Oh yeah,
dooming him.
yep, exactly. That makes perfect sense to me. This is the most logical character we've ever created on this show. So
And then worst of all, the girl he was going to give his Letterman jacket to ended up marrying the skunk.
Oh no, that's the worst. Oh well, sometimes you gotta go by the rule that whoever kills your beloved becomes your beloved or something to that effect. I've heard that somewhere before.
Yeah, I mean it's a good rule of thumb to follow.
Oh yeah. That's why people get so mad when they die in Call of Duty. They're like, oh shit, now my girlfriend's gonna go off and be with this guy instead.
Honey, you have to go marry Noob Slayer 69.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but I think this is a really funny kind of character.
Yeah, we've the Hoobastank. We've got the cheese, the curd snatcher, the Jim, and Hoobastank.
And the Hoobastank, yep. These are all pretty solid, I'd say. Well, one of them's ethereal, but, two of them are solid.
Yeah. Yes. Especially the Jim.
Oh.
If he's been eating.
Oh, yeah. That guy is just full of mass. Just like...
Full Dorito body shape.
Yeah, so dense. All right. Well, Mildred, thank you so much for being here today. Where can people find you if you choose to be found?
You can... you'll never find me.
Oh.
But if you'd like to find my work, you can find it at youtube.com/@thoughtslime, where I make what can charitably be called political satire videos. And if you're more interested, and your audience, I think, might lean more towards the spooky monsters, you can find me at youtube.com/@scaredycatstv.
Yeah. And also...
That's where I talk about horror movies with my friend who's a Babadook.
Yeah. What was his name again?
I don't recall at this time.
I thought he was the star of the channel, so that's interesting.
You'd think, you'd think.
Well, that's okay. I don't remember my name most of the time either. So, yeah, if y'all would like to go and check out Mildred's work, go and check out Thought Slime and Scaredy Cats, because they are both wonderful channels. I've been subscribed for a long time, and I think that, the entirety of my audience will enjoy
you'll also, this episode is actually quite a representative sample of what you will find there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if you are on board with how I've spoken and comported myself in this podcast, it is like 1-to-1 what you will find on these channels.
Yeah, it's like...
Not even
It's
joking.
like I've got my own personalized, pre-release Scaredy Cats episode that I'm just going to, cherish until I release this episode. And then I'll be like, there it is for the world to see.
A feeling that was once the sole domain of Baby Oopsie, now yours.
Oh, I started watching those movies because you were speaking so highly of them, and I was like, huh, that's a movie.
It's possible they were being tongue in cheek.
Entirely, it's maybe likely even. I will say, I thought it was really funny because I thought one of the characters sounded a lot like you. Like the person who calls in on the phone. I know she works in a phone center or something like that, but there's this one person who calls in on the phone. I think it's the first person that calls her. I was like, did Mildred have a cameo in this? And I don't know why, because going back and looking at it, I was like, this doesn't sound... Anyway, it was a misconception.
You would be the first line of my bio if I did. Star of Baby Oopsie.
Of Baby Oopsie. Absolutely. But yeah, guys, I'll go check out Scaredy Cats, go check out Thought Slime, and if you enjoy this podcast, then you can obviously subscribe to this one as well. If you want to support the show, go on over to patreon.com/justalittleguy, where you can support us monetarily. Also my Ko-Fi at ko-fi.com/rsworthout, which is where I'm still raising funds for my fiance's dental bills. But if you just want to do a one-time donation for the show, that would also be appreciated. Thanks again for listening. A special thanks go out to our patrons who continue to make this show possible, especially those who subscribe to the Incomprehensible Cosmic Abomination tier. And those, again, are Taru Tikkanen, D. Solari, Lunchbox, and Jared S. And if you want to check out Mildred's work, but you don't want to do all that pesky typing, then you don't got to worry about it, because all the links are in the description. Thanks again for listening, and as always, beware of... Which one should we beware of, do you think, the most, Mildred?
I think the most threatening is by far the Hoobastank.
Oh yeah, that's true, because he will get your skin ripped off of you. So yeah, beware the Hoobastank.
You have no way of fighting back. Like with the curd snatcher, give him a card.
Yeah.
He's out of your hair. Yeah. With the Jim, show proper respect to the gym and its patrons. Mm-hmm. he'll leave you alone.
Yeah.
Hoobastank, you are his prey.
Yep. He's just going to follow you until you torch his bones. So beware the Hoobastank. Yeah. And we'll talk to you guys next time. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.